Subscribe GA. Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Eddie's remaining freedom is only 7 days after spying on Nina Drew. According to General Hospital, Carly Spencer lost her temper in court because Judge Kim's sentencing was much harsher than the plea agreement Drew Cain accepted. Carly was admonished by Judge Kim to calm down, and it was made plain that this was his decision. Zeke Robinson attempted to portray Drew as a hero who erred, but Judge Kim retorted that nobody was above the law. Judge Kim requested that Drew be transported back to Pentonville to start serving his 3-year term straight away. Judge Kim decided to give Drew 7 days to arrange his affairs after Zeke successfully persuaded the judge to do so in exchange for Drew turning up his passport. Zeke informed Drew after the hearing that although this was a setback, the situation wasn't yet finished. There would be a meeting to discuss perhaps reducing Drew's sentence, but it wouldn't happen until he was in jail. Drew and Carly had very emotional exchanges as he promised to cherish his time with both of them and Scout Cain. Carly was adamantly opposed to the idea of Drew selling Aurora, even though he wanted to do so to assist pay Carly's sizable fine. Ned Quartermain, aka Eddie Main, was impatient to leave the hospital and ultimately needed to be drugged because he was so anxious. Gregory Chase, in the meantime, told Tracy Quartermain to back the hell off because she was reprimanding Alexis Davis. Gregory was retaliated against by Tracy, who warned him to keep away from her as she hurried out to cope with additional family strife. Tracy admitted that framing her and getting her arrested was a positive thing once Alexis provided updates, and it helped her turn her life around. Harrison Chase and Hamilton Finn, Michael Easton, were objects of Gregory's continued protection, despite Alex's opinion that he should simply ignore Tracy's pranks. Kevin Collins then discussed Ned's traumatic brain damage with Olivia Quartermain, Brooklyn Quartermain, and Chase. Ned's recuperation was a difficult and unpredictable situation. Kevin made the observation that Ned thought of himself as Eddie Main, and actually was Eddie in his head. Kevin cautioned against denying Ned's reality after he proposed that he begin therapy. When Tracy joined the gang, she disagreed and said Ned needed to be reminded of his senses. When Brooke, Lynn, and Chase went to see Ned in his room, Eddie grabbed her arm and propelled her out of the room by pushing her. Eddie released Brooke Lynn as a result of Chase's pressure. Although Eddie wanted to go to Vegas and wasn't interested in being the man the Quartermains knew, Brooke Lynn swore to take Ned home soon. Kevin explained to Tracy and Olivia, who were still arguing, that being Eddie offered Ned the freedom he needed at the time. Kevin thought Ned needed some space, but Brooke Lynn reappeared to say her dad wanted a one-way trip to Vegas. Ned had already left his hospital bed when Tracy and the others arrived in his room. Martin Gray interrupted Lucy Coe's, Lynn Herring, talk with Sasha Gilmore at the Metro Court Gardens to present his love with flowers. Sasha tried to get information about the unnamed client Martin had alluded to after Lucy had accepted them, but Martin would not provide any. When the topic of the brisk sales of the Deceptor wand came up, Lucy thanked Martin for helping her come up with the concept one night in bed. Sasha inquired about Martin and Lucy's upcoming nuptials because she obviously thought their relationship was out of a storybook. In unison, Martin and Lucy said they would never get married, but Lucy subsequently confided to Sasha that she wanted to get married and believed she could convince Martin of this. Ned was dejected as he read texts concerning alimony from his ex-wives at the Metro Court pool before finally rolling into the water. Dex Heller and Jocelyn Jacks showed just as Sonny Corinthos and Nina Reeves were having a good time at the Savoy. As a result, Sonny asked Jocelyn if she could make amends with him in a private conversation. Jocelyn acknowledged that she had come to terms with Dex working for Sonny's company, but he pointed out it wasn't what he had wanted. Jocelyn appeared ready to back off as she understood that harming Sonny also damaged the people they both cared about. The best Jocelyn could manage was that. But Sunny felt they would be that they were both Team Sunny supporters and expressed the hope that he may persuade Jocelyn to give her a second opportunity. Dex asserted that Jocelyn was free to make her own decisions, but Nina countered that everyone, including Sunny and Dex, benefited from peace and that it was always a good thing. Dex declared he would never allow someone to hurt Sunny or Jocelyn after he agreed to give it some thought. Or, I presume, Sunny's wife. On Friday's GH episode, Nina questioned. Dex affirmed that if Nina was significant to Mr. Corinthos, then she was also significant to him. When Michael arrived and said that Drew had been given a 3-year prison sentence in Pentonville, Nina exclaimed that wasn't how it was supposed to be. Jocelyn yelled at Nina and demanded to know what was expected of her going forward. Nina objected because Drew had a less severe plea agreement, but Michael maintained that the court did what he wanted. Nina acknowledged feeling a little sorry for Carly before stepping aside to answer a call from Ava Jerome, Mora West. Nina pondered what Carly would do without Drew for 3 years after hearing the news about him. Eddie walked into the Savoy and stood behind Nina, staring at her as she spoke on the phone. As this tale develops, Nina is expected to find herself in some more precarious situations, so stay tuned. While Ned's amnesia could revitalize his role on General Hospital, Drew's prison sentence highlights every flaw in his character. It appears that General Hospital is beginning to suffer from the writer's strike. As I mentioned in my column from the previous week, there appears to be repetition in the interactions of some characters, such as Ava and Nina again discussing the SEC and Nina coming clean. Also, it appears that there are a few more flashbacks to the episodes we watched a day or two earlier. On the plus side, Leo and Tracy's interactions were charming. The Ashford-Robinson family drama was as over-the-top as always, and Cody almost taking Gladys down was my favorite part of the week. Near but no cigar. Sam made it necessary for Cody to work with the most unlikely of allies to defeat Gladys Spinelli. Gladys called Spinelli and Cody's bluff when they tried to persuade her that her fitness tracking app had located her at the crime site. Almost there. Miss Wu, of all people, was the one who saved Cody and had Gladys alter her tale. She also urged Cody to put his dispute with Gladys behind him. I'm relieved that the bracelet gate issue has been fixed, but Sasha receives no benefit from this. And the only reason I can think of for Ms. Wu to want to keep a loser like Gladys around is because she knows Gladys is her key to winning Sunny over. But really, why would Ms. Wu believe that Sunny would offer to assist his bothersome cousin? And was I the only one who noticed that Ms. Wu appeared to have lost her accent in Hong Kong? Debt-free for now. Last week, I was confident that Gladys would use extortion to force Sasha's new doctor to revoke her emancipation, but it now appears that things could become worse. Dr. Monty proposed clearing Gladys' debt in exchange for a favor. I sincerely hope I'm mistaken, but this reminds me of how the lecherous Dr. Bench harassed Keiki. I'd like to think that even avaricious Gladys wouldn't resort to using Sasha for profit. She has, however, essentially done everything other than that to Sasha. Infant aboard. Even though a different actress is playing the part, Christina is just as annoying as ever. Sam had a bunch of great lines this week, like asking her nosy sister what the P in PI stands for to get her to stop talking, and asking questions that had nothing to do with her. And if it wasn't already crystal clear that Christina will likely offer to be Molly and TG's egg donor, as well as a surrogate, they hit us over the head with it this week. Christina raved about how Molly and TJ would be wonderful and remarked that out of all her sisters, she is the only one with working plumbing. As I've already stated, the fact that this story is being introduced with 2 new actresses in the lead parts doesn't exactly make it one that I find compelling. 3's a crowd, 4's a party. It was quite rude of Zeke to tell Portia about Curtis and Jordan's kiss, and to spend the night with Jordan. He might have simply mentioned that Jordan had opened up to him at the bar instead of disclosing the details of the intercourse to Portia. T&I, Zeke. He just felt awkward telling his sister that he had a one-night affair with her husband's ex. I was just getting into Zeke and Jordan until he went and wrecked it right away. Trina was also warned by him to avoid Curtis, which only served to aggravate the situation. It's time to return Zeke to his original location. Stop crying, Portia. We're all sick of hearing it. Something else was the argument Portia had with Jordan and her ongoing victimization. Since Curtis was already involved with her, Jordan really ought to have put everything on the table with her. She ought to have told Portia she went away, and that Curtis and Portia deserved each other when she inquired who stopped it. At this point, Curtis and Portia's reputations have been damaged, and it is difficult to care whether they survive this or not. Recently, it seems like a lot of the couples on the program have done this, destroying one or both of their characters to the point that it's difficult to support them as a couple. Christina Wagner experiences a second devastating loss. Tracy Quartermaine is just plain nasty, nasty, nasty. In his interactions with Tracy at the hospital, the adorable Leo was absolutely amazing. He was really open and honest when she questioned what he knew about her, responding, "You're mean." Tracy playing with his fidget spinner while sitting next to him, however, was a pretty nice scene. Even Tracy has her moments from time to time. Mean or simply straight up. Naturally, Tracy then criticized Alexis for recommending that they allow Ned Eddie Quartermaine to resolve his problems at his own pace. Gregory defended Alexis and has since essentially waged war on Tracy. Why add Gregory to her list of detractors when she already has enough? Additionally, Tracy is already a part of enough narratives as it is. So where is this one going? Are they trying things out as a couple who once hated each other but now adore each other? Does Vanna White intend to leave Wheel of Fortune? The Eddie Main comeback. This new Eddie Main is a real jerk, not fun and carefree. But Friday's scenes and Kevin's justification for Ned's decision to become Eddie were masterful. Ned's mind is essentially attempting to get away from his issues at ELQ, the SEC claims, and his Godawful family. Who wouldn't desire a getaway from their family, as Brooklyn phrased it? It's great to see Wally Kurth take on a role other than Ned, who is occasionally a bland and uninteresting businessman. After Ned gets out of this predicament, this might be a means to radically reinvent him. We might even see him leave ELQ and seek something else. Well, it wasn't what I had in mind. Sam responded admirably when Drew told her he was going to jail to protect Carly, saying it was for the best. Was this, as she phrased it, the best course of action for him? As for Scout, or simply Carly and her household? Why is Scout placed after Donna? Sam, you go. Sam was right to criticize Drew for putting his life on the line for Carly because the judge threw out the contract and sentenced him to 3 years in Pentonville. Say goodbye to Drew and hello to Cyrus. Dante will now be Scout's father, so don't worry. Drew even considered selling Aurora, Drew the business Carly that was supposed to be Scout's legacy, in order to aid Carly and pay the significant penalty the SEC will impose on her. As if Drew hadn't already given up a lot for Carly. It is heartbreaking to watch Drew be reduced to being Carly's defender. It is neither romantic nor a fantastic love tale. He is very different from the role and the person who would do everything for an Oscar. Speaking of being stupid, Zeke should have used that defense when the judge tried to use Drew as a lesson. Your Honor, not only does my client have no prior convictions for securities fraud, but he and Miss Spencer are so naive they had no idea they were engaging in insider trading. He's just an idiot. He's not a criminal, a danger to society, or someone to set an example for. Exes of Martin, Lucy and Martin are entertaining together, despite the fact that she has been one of the most, if not the most, unpleasant characters for the past few months. Martin's declaration that he will never get married again, which is related to the fact that his 3 ex-wives have grown to be a pain in his side, creates some entertaining tale possibilities. It may be entertaining to cast some of Michael E. Knight's former daytime co-workers for some cameo appearances as his hated 3 ex-wives, especially given how frequently General Hospital casts performers from former ABC daytime shows. Thanks for watching if you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.